The other night we talked about Kareem Hunt a little bit as Dunstradamus came out for the first time this season. He predicted that Kareem Hunt would not be leaving Kansas City without a contract, and he did. He got his practice squad contract. So that was the last time we talked. And since then, practice squad is going to be wearing number 29. It will not be wearing number 27. So for all you Chief fans like myself who has number 27 Kareem Hunt jersey, you might have to get a number 29 one, but number 27 still works. Still nostalgic. It's a throwback jersey now. But obviously, it was a great moment for Chiefs Kingdom to have Kareem Hunt back in Kansas City, to be able to, come around full the 360 from 6 years ago. Andy Reid spoke about it today, but it was pretty nice. It was also cool to see. I didn't know this, but apparently Kareem Hunt and Mahomes have stayed together since they were drafted. They were the same draft class, 2017, and they've stuck. They've been still friends. And Kareem Hunt was actually attended Mahomes' wedding in 2022, which is a little nugget that Andy Reid said today during his press conference. But JD, obviously, with that, Hunt was on the practice field today. And then also at the same time, Pacheco had his successful surgery today, no complications and no ligament damage. So that was a good thing as well. Sticking to the 6 to 8 week timeline, as that's what, was reported today. But this Sunday, we may see Kareem Hunt. We don't know. Andy Reid said the possibility, but it seems like it's going to be a Carson Steele, Samaje Perine show. So I have a few questions, which we've seen in the chat already tonight. A lot of people are wondering who's going to be the guy. Is it going to be Carson Steele, Samaje Perine? How's it going to look back there? So my question is, who do you think is going to be the guy this weekend between the two of them? And what happens when Kareem Hunt is ready to play? And what happens when potentially CEH comes back off the NFI list? Because that's going to be a pretty crowded running back room. So let's just take a step by step. Who's the main guy this weekend between Carson Steele and Samaje Perine?
To be honest with you, I think this week you got to let them both run. And so Carson Steele, from what he's done during preseason and this past game, he's earned his time to get some carries in this offense. He's been very impressive since he's been here. Andy didn't like him, and he runs hard. He does a great job going north and south. He doesn't really give you a whole lot, but he does have a little bit of wiggle in his hips. He was a running back in college, so that's the thing about him. Wasn't just a fullback. We give him the fullback, name here, but he was a running back, and he was a very effective running back. And we've seen that in preseason and this last game. Obviously, people might go back to when he fumbled, but Andy and those guys trust him and gave the ball right back to him. And so we look at a Carson Steele kind of like the whole mix of like a all-star, if you will, a guy that runs hard. My brother was talking about it. We named this guy a couple of weeks ago in John Riggins, somebody that is a north to south runner, runs hard, doesn't go down, real easy. I think he brings that to the table. As far as like Samaje Perine, we know, he's a guy he's been in the league. He's got a lot of experience, and he's done really well in Cincinnati back behind Joe Mixon. And when Joe Mixon was down, Perine came in and stepped in and did a great job. So I like Perine a lot. He's a much better, pass blocker. He gets out there in the flat. He can catch the ball extremely well. And he can get north and south. He can go east and west. So we have very capable backs. That's going to get a look this week. And I think you might look at it maybe 50-50. It just depends. And, you know how it is also, too. If a guy starts going, he starts moving around, starts getting a lot of yards, you just got to let him work. And so if he gets tired, the other guy comes in. But these two guys, man, are absolutely capable. Now, let's get into the man of the hour who just got in Kansas City, okay? Our guy coming back home, Kareem Hunt, right? We done said bygones be bygones. Hey, we done did it like this. Hey, the slate is clean. Wash it out. The slate is clean, okay? He's matured. The guys are happy he's in there. Patrick is happy he's back behind him. And he said he stepped there to the wedding. So he's family. He's been here. He's been family. Does he have ability to come and play this week? Possibly. I think they want to see. That's why they put him on practice squad, because they don't quite know what type of shape he's in. And so he did come in slim. Marcus, we were just talking about it. We was just like, hopefully it looked like he was eating Funyuns and Doritos on the couch watching football, telling like, that's what I used to do, telling, the family and the neighbors, that he's Kareem Hunt of old. But my thing is, if he's in shape, he's going to get a little bit of look. I don't think it's going to be a significant amount of play if he ever comes out to play. I think just it's going to give him time. So maybe let's say you give him practice squad just to see where he is. Maybe a week. Okay, so let's just say this week right here, you decide to get him ready, and you just like, look, we don't quite need him against Atlanta. I think we got enough right now. What we have with Atlanta. And just let him get involved. Let him get everybody let's get him back into the swing of things. But if you do bring him back, you got to give him a couple of carries here and there, man. And he's going to be so excited. I tell you what, when I seen him do the kickoff return, he started running. That joker looked like he was tired already when he came back. I was like, he might he might need to be on practice squad for about a week at least. So it's going to be like riding a bike to him. Running backs are those guys that you could bang them, hit them around, different things like that. Man, they'll do what they need to do. If they need to tap the helmet to come out, they will. And so that's the good thing about it, because we got two other guys we just mentioned, in Carson Steele and Samaje Perine, that if he needs to come in, we'll let him. We'll let him. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised that he looked as slim as he did. I think the Tasia made the joke that he might be on Ozempic or whatever. But he looked great. I mean, guy's been out of football for 6 months. I mean, since the season ended. So but obviously he stayed trim and he was ready to go when a team called upon him. And I just think when we talk about that, the storybook kind of narrative that we have here with Kareem Hunt coming back to right, the wrongs of the past, to have redemption. And I think I've cued it, JD, as we're hunting for that three-peat. The Kansas City Chiefs are hunting for that three-peat with this addition of Kareem Hunt at this point in this juncture. And with Pacheco's injury, I mean, 6 to 8 weeks, he just had surgery and, it's 2 months. But if the running back room looks good without him, maybe we don't need to rush him back. Maybe if the Steele, Perine, and Hunt kind of trio, and then that's where it begs the question: if when CEH comes back, if he comes back, and obviously his first time can be right after week 4, but we don't know what's going to happen, because it's not the thing with CEH's injury. And I've seen a lot of people talk about when CEH comes back, Hunt's probably going to be cut. It's I mean, we don't know really, because when CEH comes back, he may not come back, because with the PTSD, what he's going through, you can't really put a timetable on that. That's a mental thing he's working with.
And also too, the element of just being in shape, being in game shape, is important as well. So I think that's why it's very, when we think about Kareem Hunt, this guy hadn't had a carry. He's been at home during the whole off season. Nobody signed him, and so I always go back to this, man. Look. Practice shape and game shape is two different things. It's two different things, man. Two totally different things. And so if you haven't really been getting hit, your body starts to soften up. And so, especially for the running backs, you're going to get hit all the time once you have the football. Once you have the football, you got 11 guys running after you. Not to mention the guys who are going to pile on trying to block for you. And so just carrying that physicality, man, is taxing on a body. And so that's where you have to find out exactly where he is physically. I don't think it's a problem if nobody's tackling him in practice. He may look good, but getting that initial hit, that's something totally different. It's totally different. Like they said, you always got a game plan until you get hit in the mouth, right? There's famous words from our guy, Mike Tyson. And so that's the reality. So it's the same thing with CEH. CEH has to come back from, where he is with the whole mental aspect, but he's still got to get into shape. He's got to get in game shape. And so that, I would say, that's probably one of the hardest positions to get ready physically at, is the running back. And so those guys, man, I tell you what, man, I have just a great amount of respect for what they had to go through, the fortitude, how you just have to mold your body, forge it over time with all the hits and everything. That is only taken and given when you get the hits. And so I think, man, with CEH and Kareem Hunt, it is one of those things. Time would just tell. So we'll just have to see with Kareem, man, where he's going to be at with this thing too, man. So we'll see.
Do you think when, let's say, give it a week or two, let's say, he doesn't play this week, and if he does, it's like 3 carries. He's just trying to get his, get in game shape, like you said.
Yeah.
Do you think when 1 or 2 weeks from now, let's say, God forbid, everyone's healthy still, Steele, Perine, Kareem, and let's say CH is not back yet. Do you think there's going to be a main guy of those three, or they're going to ride with the hot hand and be pretty much a running back by committee?
I think running back by committee. And so when you do that, then it is all about, the hot hand. Not to mention, man, and Witchy Hall just said that we brought Amani Bailey up. So we brought him off the practice squad. So he's a very capable running back too, right?
I believe it was Keontae Ingram. I believe it was Keontae Ingram.
Ingram. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Ingram. Okay. So we brought Ingram up. So Ingram is a guy that we know is, he can play ball. So we had 3 guys that could definitely do it. They could carry the load if they need to, especially against, the Falcons. I don't think that is something that, we had to really worry about. Like you said, Carson Steele's been getting, good yards. Samaje Perine is a proven vet. I think when you think about those things, you're going to be fine. Not to mention the passing the ball aspect. I think these guys are going to try to get back on the horse with this whole thing. With Kelsey not necessarily having a good day. Rice was the only one that's really eating. Worthy didn't really get a whole lot of balls.
Come on, baby, go. Yes! That's a first down. This football season, I'll be putting down normal sodas like Coca-Cola for Olipop. Olipop offers a healthier alternative with its low sugar content and natural ingredients. Olipop is more than just a drink. It's a wellness companion that supports your digestive health. Packed with prebiotics, this fizzy elixir helps promote good bacteria in your gut, leading to improved digestion and overall well-being. So go ahead, click the link in the description and use promo code SODALOVE and get your can of Olipop so you can enjoy the game guilt-free. Go Chiefs. Use the promo code SODALOVE for 15% off now.
I think this week is going to be a little bit different. We're not going to necessarily see a team like the Ravens or the Bengals. Okay. Now the Falcons do have something to prove. They're trying to be an up-and-coming team. They're very young. They got some guys on the other side, man, that come and play ball. And so we understand what this whole thing is going to be about this week coming in. And look, the Falcons are thinking, well, look, the Chiefs just barely escaped the Bengals. Okay. We're ready. We're ready to get them. Heck, they just came off a big win with the Eagles. So for them, they're prime. They're prime. And so this is going to be down there, man, Atlanta. They're going to be ready for it. Matter of fact, I'm going to the game. I'm going to be down at the game this weekend. So,
I didn't know that. There you go.
Yeah. So it's going to be a good time, man. My brother Charles, man, he has season tickets with the Falcons. So we're going to go, and I'll probably get on the sideline, man, to go talk to a few people. And
there you go.
So
that's sweet. And I believe I think I read, because Arthur Blank is going into the Ring of Honor in Atlanta. I believe like everybody who's in attendance is getting like 2 free hot dogs and like 2 free drinks. Pretty much. I don't know what it was, but there's gonna be a lot of free stuff that day because of Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank getting into the Ring of Honor there, so it's like a celebratory thing going on in the stadium that night. So there you go, JD. Some free dogs.
Yeah, man, something like that, man. I don't know if I eat no hot dog. I don't know how long it's been since I ate a hot dog, to be honest with you.
Hey, splurge a little bit. You go to Atlanta for a Sunday night game.
I don't trust that meat. There's something I just ain't going to do. So, they can keep the hot dog, But other than that, man, I think it'd be a good time. And anything I get with the Falcons on it, I'm going to hand that to, little kid or somebody that's like, hey, man, go ahead and take it. So
there you go. There you go.
But I tell you what, man, we see some of these people, talking in the chat. I'm going to address some of their issues and what they're talking about, some things. So Alder Brown says, I personally was in favor of bringing Hunt back later before they decided on resigning Jerick McKinnon. I think for a sense I might have been, and I think it might have been the year before we got Pacheco, Alder Brown, because, it was kind of some contention there how everything was going to be. But, Hunt was a guy that I liked a lot. McKinnon has been a solid guy for us the past few years. I mean, it's hard not to have a guy like him on our squad, really. Uh, so for me, he was that jackknife. He was the one that was doing it all, the Swift Army knife, if you will. Catch the ball, block. He's the best, block and running back we've seen in a long, long time, man. And I had to just give him his flowers, man. Congratulate him for the things he's done, the Kingdom. But I did. I was talking about Kareem Hunt a couple of years ago when I told you Jacoby Ford was coming in, eating in it. I'm like, we need to explore getting Kareem Hunt back here. Why not? So.
Yeah, I mean, we've been on the Kareem Hunt thing for a while, and I know a lot of fans are like, "Oh no, Clark Hunt will never do that. We'll never do that. We'll never do." Well, never. This is why people say never say never. That's why there's that famous adage there: never say never. It's for reasons like this.
Yeah. Charles Driver says up here, see if you can see it. Giving a guy a second chance is why guys will run through brick walls for Andy and company. I do agree. When you go through tough things in life and you disappoint people that you love, if you have a chance for redemption and there's some forgiveness there and there's a pathway to move forward, I think people are just appreciative of it. And I know Kareem Hunt will be very appreciative of this chance and opportunity he has with them. Like you said, man, he's shown contrition, very apologetic. But the reality is this. One of his worst moments got caught on film. How many of us have moments that we're not necessarily proud of that didn't get publicized, didn't get caught on film? And so sometimes we can, castigate a guy like Kareem Hunt, but what does that do for him, right? What does that show him, that we just not forgiving people, that you don't give second chances? And Andy has done that. He's done it with several guys, right? We've seen it with Hill. We've seen it with Frank. The whole situation with Rasheed Rice. And when guys are in that mode of maturity, it's a maturation process. Sometimes you got to stick with guys. Guys got to learn, and sometimes guys got to learn the hard way. But I think with this reconciliation that they have with Kareem Hunt, I think, man, we're going to benefit ways we just didn't think it was. And so I'm glad he's here. I know the Chiefs are glad that he's here. You've seen that he's still friends with the guys that he played with, and they stayed in contact with him. So when you talk about that as family, we don't turn our back on our family. We just don't do that. And we should always have open arms, welcoming, right? And so when you talk about the prodigal son returns, this is the prodigal son. He's returning. And so the door is open. The Chiefs are happy to have him back. I'm so glad to see this happen. I am. I'm not gonna say it should have happened a long time ago. I think it happened when it was supposed to happen. And so I think right now, because of the circumstances, you just got to look at it that way. So, no, good. And guys will run through a brick wall for a guy like that. Okay. So Appreciate you saying that, Charles, because that's true.
Yeah. A barbershop. That's why I like the sign of Kareem. It's the redemption aspect. It's also the chip on his shoulder wanting to right his wrong. I love that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well said. 100%.
Yeah. And the one thing that really bothers me, too, I've seen some like pretty prominent Chiefs content creators out there tweet today saying like, that has he really grown up? I saw one. I was like, and I've seen it in the comments here tonight. We were 23, 21, 22. We were young people. Everyone was doing dumb crap. And like you said, one of the lowest moments of his life was on film. And, I'm not giving him an out there, but like the judge,
no.
The comment was, she's making official and bring back Kareem Hunt in the wake of Isaiah Pacheco's injury. Back in 2018, Casey waived Hunt due to an off-field incident involving him shoving and kicking a woman, which begs the question, do you believe people have the capacity to change? And I didn't really like that. I'm not going to say who it was from, but like, I didn't really like that tweet because like, yes, I believe that people have the capacity to change. But when you ask a question like that in a tweet like that, it's like, what are you implying? Are you implying that he didn't change? People like that can't change? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, how about they just turn the question on themselves?
Yeah.
Like I think it's a reflection, right? It's a reflection because this is our human experience. So anybody can look over their past when they was younger. And I see people talking about all the time, we all grow up 23, 22 years old, 24, whatever it may be. Hopefully you're not the same person you was at that time. Hopefully you grew into a better person and learned from the mistakes that you made. And so if anybody says that they haven't, and I'm just the man, then there's you need to take stock about who you are and what you're given here in life. So somebody asking that question, man, I mean, do you not think that there's no growth there? You don't think that people can change or grow or mature? Hopefully that's what we're trying to do in our entire lives. Hopefully that's what we're trying to do. That you're a better person than you was yesterday, right? That's character. Those are character traits that we got to get better at. And so, um, we do a Zoom meeting every Tuesday called Iron Sharpens Iron. Okay, it's about men coming together, about how we can be better for one another, for everybody out here in society, for our families, our friends, and one another. And how when we're sitting out here, what should we do? How do we give back? And so it's important. It's important that we all have that. It's important that we are all shown grace and forgiveness, right? So ours is on, we're followers of Christ, man, and we believe in the love and redemption aspect. We believe in that. So, it's easy to throw people away. We ain't trying to throw people away. We ain't trying to do that. And I think if you're just throwing people away and that's an easy thing for you to do, then I think maybe your heart's the one that needs to change. So, and I'm not saying that, when somebody wrongs you and, I'm sure there's different levels on certain things that you got to use discernment for. But, sometimes if it's not a life and death situation or, put you in harm's way, uh, I think that we can all get to a point of maybe somewhat of a forgiveness. And maybe some might have to be at arm's length with things. But Kareem Hunt, without a doubt, he's one of our guys, man. He's one of our guys. So,
and we're not saying, and the thing is like, by forgiving someone, it's not exonerating him of its past. He's grown up from the past, and like that's why the Chiefs cut him in the first place. As
yeah,
as a punishment for what he did, and he went to Cleveland. And Andy Reid said it today. They checked in on him. They talked to the people in Cleveland, and he didn't have any relapses. What he was dealing with. I mean, he pretty much kept it clean. And just play football, keep your head down, and you'll have a job. And now he's back at Kansas City for keeping his head down for the last 6 years and being an upstanding citizen. And yeah, he's changed. I mean, so it's like, yeah, it's you don't forget the past, right? But you can forgive and move on, and that's
absolutely. Yeah. I, you could tell it affected him. And Family Man says, some mistakes really change people for the better. I know that personally. So here's a personal um, experience that he has. He talked about Hunt was crying when he got pulled over in Cleveland. He was hurt bad. He proved himself. He did. So if we rehab and there's therapy, it's therapeutic, for people. Because sometimes, as Andy said, man, maybe he just needed a different environment. Maybe you just need to get your head back together. Maybe you just need to, go back to the drawing board. Okay, understand what it is that you're doing and why you're trying to do it, right? And hopefully, in that, you're wondering the people that you hurt, okay, and you want to ask forgiveness from them, but also too, you want to move forward saying, hey, you know what? I don't want to wrong anybody else, okay, especially myself. And so I don't want to sabotage my own happiness by doing things that I know is going to put me in harm's way or somebody else in harm's way. So Kareem Hunt has learned that, right? So we'll get into the whole morality of things, right? I think I know there is a play and a pathway for guys to get better and find each other where they need to be.
Yeah, and quite frankly, if he sticks it out here and he looks great, obviously if the off the field stuff is corrected and he looks fine in the role, he's 29 years old, and like with the way Pacheco runs, and obviously we have Carson Steele, and he was as a fullback, right? Listed as a fullback, but like the McKinnon role, we don't have the person to do that anymore. And Hunt can be a little bit of the McKinnon role, and he could be a kind of a 1B to Pacheco's being the 1A of the backfield. Because, the way Pacheco runs, he's an aggressive guy. He's already hurt. We talked about the injuries coming into this year. And with the way he runs, he's susceptible to getting injuries. And to have Kareem Hunt play the same kind of role that he played for Nick Chubb and to come in here for the next 2 to 3 years, but potentially, I think there's potential in Kareem Hunt sticking around for a couple of years in that kind of, backup role. And so I think there's definitely a place for that if he looks good. So,
yeah. No, look, when he's full board and he's ready to go, you're gonna see it. We're gonna see Kareem Hunt, and I see people. He's not gonna be the same guy. And him being at 80, I always say there's certain guys that even when they're 85, 90%, are going to be better than some other guys 100%. Believe me, Kareem Hunt's one of those guys. He's going to get you some yards, okay? And I'm not expecting him to take off first for 80 yards or 70, whatever it may be, okay? I want him to come in and contribute, and I know he will. So
yeah, that's the thing. It's like the expectations aren't high for me, but hey, like people have been knocking his numbers all year last year. The guy played with a sports hernia last year. The guy had 9 touchdowns last year. Yeah, sure. Like his numbers, yards per carry weren't great, but he still had 9 touchdowns. So if he could be our red zone back or goal line back, 9 touchdowns ain't easy, JD. I mean, 9 touchdowns ain't easy, regardless where you are.
Not at all.
People are trying to make it seem like it's easy work to get 9 touchdowns. Like, okay, all right, he had a bad year, but he had 9 touchdowns. Okay. People will say anything and do anything to try to make their point make the point come across.
That's what I'm talking about. When you try to cut people's legs out from underneath them, he already had 15 touchdowns. Okay. Well, you try to get just 9, okay, or 4. How about you start with that, okay, and then come talk to me.
Yeah, try to get 9 yards over a span of a season, whoever this Twitter tough guy is.
Anna Sherry said, this conversation has me excited to see number 29 in action. I know he's on the practice now, but soon. Me too. Hey, Anna Sherry, me too. I'm excited. I'm excited. Whatever it comes, hey, listen, I'm patient. I'm a patient guy, okay? So if he don't come back this week, I mean, we maybe overshooting it. I'm just like, cool. I ain't got no problem with that. Hey, man, take your time. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. I'll be happy as soon as he gets in there, though. Believe me.
Yeah. No, I can't wait. I'll be gearing up for that. And also, too, I don't know if you guys already did this, but when there was a chance that we were going to be looking at him, I went to all these different websites like the Depop, Mercari, eBay. People were selling Kareem Hunt stuff for next to nothing. And I got in. I got a few T-shirts for $5, JD, on Depop, and I'll be wearing it whenever it comes in. I'll be wearing my Kareem Hunt T-shirt that I got in. $5 for Kareem Hunt T-shirts. If I'm the seller of that stuff, I'm so mad right now that I didn't even realize that Kareem Hunt was going back to that team, and I was selling it for the next to nothing. But nonetheless,
it's all right.
That's a bargain bin steal. I call myself the Brett Veach of eBay. That's what I call myself. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.